all of my gems. How are you guys doing? Welcome. It's another week. It's Monday, Monday, Monday. How are you doing? How you living? How you feeling? I hope everybody's doing great. Shout out to all of my gems that support me and my channel. Mega love shout out to my channel members. I appreciate you. I got a topic today, but before then, I'm going to say hey to everybody in the chat. Hey, Edward, how are you doing? Welcome. Hope you're doing great today. Happy Monday to you. And I have a good topic for everybody that we're going to be talking about right now. And today's topic is start where you are. Start where you are. Why is that important to start where you are? Because I'll start by saying this: life is a gift. You never know how many days you have. You never know how long you have. You never know how long you're going to have your health and your abilities and whatever it is in this life. And that's why this life is a gift, because you don't know how many gifts, how many days, how many um, days you're going to have to be in your present circumstance, feeling healthy and feeling good. And that's why you should be taking care of yourself. Hi, Roxanne. How are you? Welcome. How's everybody doing? Thank you guys so much for being here. So let's start this topic, shall we? Start where you are. This is something that is so important for us to really think about this. It's not about having the perfect situation, the perfect circumstance. It's not about having the perfect support. It's about starting. And I don't know about you all, but for me, the most difficult thing ever is to just get started. It's like getting my mind wrapped around that I can start and that things are going to go well and everything like that, because it's so much things that go into our mind. Will I succeed with this? What will other people think? What will other people say? Is this going to be successful? So it's just a matter of really convincing yourself and then just allowing yourself the opportunity. And that's why life is a gift. Give yourself the opportunity to start. Not saying that you'll be perfect, not saying that everything will work out, but it's just about starting and allowing yourself to have everything that you deserve. You deserve to start. And I wish many years ago, when I was younger and I had better health, when I didn't have the situation that I have now, when you're still at home with your parents, you're able to do things and not really have to worry about money. But I say all that to say this: no matter what your situation is right now, the most important thing is for you to start where you are. And for me, it really messed me up for a long time, always trying to get my mind into this space of saying, okay, I'll start later. And you make the excuse because, okay, I don't have the best finances. Okay, I don't have this person supporting me. Okay, I don't have this. If we're looking for an excuse, there will always be one. There's always going to be an excuse that we can make why we don't start, why we're not accomplishing our goals, why we're not doing the things that we deserve to do. And I wanted to give you all some encouragement and some motivation today, and to say this: yeah, maybe you don't have the best financial situation. You may not have the most support. You may not have a lot of things on your side. But what you do have is you have the wherewithal, you have the strength, and you're worth it. You deserve to start, and to start right now today, because this is urgent. It's urgent for us to get started so that we can be our best, feel our best, and have the most peace. Because I've done that for a long time, hesitate, procrastinate, doubt myself. And it's not that we doubt ourselves because we want to feel that way, but we're realistic. We have probably many issues going on in adulting, financial reasons, you're working. There's always so many things that is tugging at us, and we're being pulled in every direction but a focused direction. And that's why I wanted to say start where you are. No matter where you are in your life, it just matters that you start. Convince yourself that I can start and that things are going to work out. Yes, the most important thing is to start. To start, and don't listen to other people. And I've said this so many times before, is to walk in silence and mind your own business. It's not anybody else's business why you're making the moves that you're making. It's nobody else's business why whatever you're using your talents and your gifts. It's nobody else's opinions that matter. And it's so easy for people on the outside to judge us. That's the easy thing. But they don't know the things that we have to deal with on a regular basis, on a day to day basis. And that is why you should be so encouraged and motivated to start. Start your business, get in school, whatever your goal is. Find a way to make a plan and to get yourself where you deserve to be. If you don't feel like you deserve things, you're never going to achieve them. And that's why I said start. Start that business. Start working on your retirement portfolio. Start working on having better communication. Start working on being a better individual. So if you find the love of your life, you will also be ready to be able to be a good person to be in a relationship with. People think sometimes that you have to have things in order for you to be working on them actively. No, you need to be working on being the type of person that somebody is going to want to be in love with. What are your qualities? Start where you are. You don't have to be perfect because nobody is. Hi, Lara. How are you doing? Welcome. Happy Monday to you and to everybody in the chat. Appreciate every single one of you for being here. Now, let's get into talking about this. It doesn't have to be perfect. Your circumstance, your support, and I was in that space for such a long period of time, feeling like I can't start because I don't have the ideal situation. I don't have this person, say it's your siblings or your parents or your friends or spouse or this situation or it's my health or it's my finances. If we're looking for a perfect and ideal situation, we will never get where we deserve to be. And I wanted to say that to everybody. We all deserve to be at certain places and spaces, but you have to start. You have to get yourself in that zone, in that mode of reminding yourself, I deserve to have this. I deserve to use my talents. I deserve to have peace. I deserve to be happy. I deserve to do all of these things. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Your situation doesn't have to be perfect. Your circumstance doesn't have to be perfect. Other people supporting you, that's usually one of the biggest determining factors. We will feel like, oh, but this person or that person is not in agreement, or this person has said it's not going to work. And we can't listen to those things before we start. The most important thing is just to start. Go for it. After, of course, you do your research, you do all of the things that you need to do, go for it. Start. And this is the thing that a lot of people don't understand. When you are starting a new endeavor, when you're going for something that you want to go for, know this, there's going to be trials. There's going to be trials. Hi, Keeping Up with the Griffins. How are you doing? Happy Monday. All is well here. I hope all is well on your side as well. Thank you so much for being here. If you guys could hit the like, I would really appreciate it. Now, this is the thing that I didn't realize, that we feel like when we're doing what we want to do, living in our purpose, going for our goals, we feel like it's supposed to look a certain way. It's supposed to be this ideal way. And I want you all to understand that there will be trials. There's going to be bumps along the road. There's going to be people to say things, naysayers. There's going to be people who are going to do things. So there's going to be trials. It's not going to be perfect. There's going to be some things to try to get you down and maybe discourage you. And I know that I feel that way as a content creator. I know I feel that way about my business. I feel that way about my family, that there's going to be trials in every single circumstance in life. There's going to be trials, but get started, go for it. I like to look at what is ahead instead of what I am currently facing. And that always encourages me so much when I'm trying to accomplish a goal or get something. I want something. I like to think about how much peace I'll have when I learn to maybe be more patient, learn to be a better communicator, learn to follow through, learn to be consistent and persistent, even when I'm tired, even when I don't feel like it, even when I have an attitude, or even when other people are getting on my nerves. That is the exact time when you need to force yourself to step outside of the box and get out of your comfort zone, because in our comfort zone, elevation doesn't stay in a comfort zone. We don't grow, we don't experience personal growth and development if we don't get started. Now, after we get started, we have to understand that we have to continue. And that's the hard part, is we can start sometimes, but will we continue? Will we allow ourselves to continue? And that was the thing for me. When I would experience a trial, I would get so down. I would get so discouraged. I would feel so depressed, because it's like I just started this, or this just happened, and look how I'm being treated, or it's not what I thought it would be. I thought it would be easier. I thought I would have more support. So that's why I'm saying, when you are starting your endeavor, when you're starting whatever your goal, whatever you're focused on achieving in your life, you have to know that there is going to be trials. There's going to be challenges. There's going to be some monkey wrenches thrown into your plans. But the thing about it is, don't stop. Maybe you may have to rest for a while. Maybe you may have to reset your plans. Maybe you may have to rework the plan, but don't give up on your plans. I just want you to know that there will be trials. If you really want something, that's one of the things that my mentor has been helping me and encouraging me with, this mindset and shifting my mindset, that when you want something, whatever it is, you got to put that in your mind. This is what I want. Picture yourself receiving whatever it is that you want. You have to have a hunger, a desire, and a drive for getting to that space, and know that along the road, you're going to get discouraged. You're going to feel sad. You're going to want to give up. There's going to be trials. There's going to be so many things that is going to happen along the way when you start, especially when it's something that takes a lot of courage. People don't understand, to do content creation, it takes courage. To be able to have a business, it takes courage. To be able to have a healthy mindset, it takes courage. to keep peace in your life, it takes courage. To communicate in a proper way, it takes courage because not all the time we want to. Not all the time you want to say something to somebody. You just feel like, well, they should know how I feel, and then you may go silent. No, the right way, the proper way is to tell somebody how they feel, how you feel, especially maybe when someone offended you. We don't have to go off, but you can let people know when you said this, this is how it made me feel. When you do that, it keeps you on track. That has helped to me so much to know how to separate what is a me problem from what is a their problem. When someone chooses to not support you, it doesn't mean what you're doing is not a good endeavor. It doesn't mean that you're not good at what you do. Sometimes people are going through real time situations and they can't support you, or they don't want to support you. Sometimes those same individuals that are telling you that you can do it really in their heart, they can't stand you. They hate you. They're jealous of you. And that, for me, that gives me an even stronger drive and desire to go for what I want, knowing that other people want me to fail. And I want to say this is somebody who needs to hear it today. There's somebody today who wants you to fail. It could be members of your own household. It could be somebody you're in a romantic relationship with. It could be somebody on social media. There's always people who want you to fail. They want you to fall flat on your face. And I want you to know that if it hasn't happened to you yet, it's going to happen soon. Because the more that you step into your path, the more that you believe in yourself, the more confident that you become, is the more hate, the more naysayers, the more people who will challenge you and want you to doubt yourself so that you can stop. Okay? But keep on going. No matter what, no matter what other people are saying, don't stop. And this is very important, everybody, in starting where you are. Know that there will be judgments. Okay? Know that people are going to judge you. Hi, Elena. How are you? Welcome. Know that there is going to be judgment. There's going to be people who are going to look at you and say, "Oh, that won't work," or "That's stupid," or "That's ugly," or "You can't do it. You won't win at that." And maybe they won't say it by words. Maybe they'll say it by the way they stop supporting you, or maybe they say things behind your back and don't think that you'll hear it back. There's always a way that people will judge us. People will judge you because they don't have the courage to do what you do. They don't have the courage to wake up every day and follow their dreams. They don't have the courage to be able to work on themselves and to be a positive, bright light. That takes courage. Every day I wake up and I make a choice to choose peace. I make a choice to choose me. I make a choice to love myself. And that's not an easy thing. It's not easy to choose to be positive when you have every reason to be negative because of your situation, because of the things that you're dealing with, because maybe the way you feel, right? But don't give in to that. You know, there's a thing called mind over matter. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter. And I remind myself of that there's going to be people who are going to say things and it's going to irritate you. It's going to annoy you. It's going to make you mad sometimes. Maybe you want to set you off, but don't let other people's judgments and what they have to say to stop you from doing what you need to do for your goals and your dreams in your life. See, it's about starting where you are. no matter what your financial situation is, no matter what your health is. If you want to do it, you will do it. There's no excuses, okay? If you, okay, like I remember when I first started, for example, exercising, I used to feel so intimidated because of, oh, I don't want to go in the gym because I feel like everybody will be looking at me and judging me and things like that. And it's really because I wasn't comfortable. So when I first started off going, getting on my health journey and taking care of me, I first had to start off at home so that I could work on my confidence. I could feel good in my own skin. And when I started to become more confident, then I could get in the gym. But the most important thing I want to encourage everybody is whatever it is that you're seeking, whatever it is that your drive, maybe your drive is retiring. Maybe your drive is being a better parent. Maybe your drive is getting to a certain goal on social media. Maybe your goal is being able to buy a home or pay down debt. But the most important thing is start where you are and making a plan. See, he who fails to plan has already failed, because if you don't make a plan and an objective, a way to get where you want to go, you will not get there. And I've always said that. Oh, I want to. And the person that you need to convince is yourself. That is, that's a really big, it's a big feat. It's a big thing to overcome, and it's a challenge, because if you've been used to for such a long period of time about being negative, a long period of time of not believing in yourself, a long period of time of listening to what other people say, or feeling that you have to have support or the likes, or the accolades from other people, or for you to be able to do things, if you are always waiting for a certain setup, a certain situation, a certain circumstance, you won't get there. And I say that because, not because I read it in the book, is because I had said for such a long time, oh, I was going to do content creation. I was going to do travel videos. I was going to see, we're always going to later on. Okay, yeah, when I get more money, or when I have more time, or when this or when that. And if you keep telling yourself your situation is not right, your situation will never be right. I had to learn to make my situation right. I had to learn to convince myself that I deserve things. I had to learn to shut out what other people are saying and thinking, and think about what I think and what I say, and not listen to what others are saying, because there's always going to be somebody who has something to say. There's always going to be a hater. It's always going to be a negative person. It's always going to be somebody to look at you and not like you. But don't stop your life because somebody else doesn't like you. Don't stop your life because another person judges you. You have the right to be happy. You have the right to live your life on your terms. You have that right. And I had to stop letting other people get that much power over me, because it's a real thing. Other people will keep our power if we allow it. If we let people have power over us, they will. And that's why I wanted to say to everybody to start where you are, and not where you want to be. And of course, we want things to be better. We want our situation to be better. But if we can't do, everything we want to do, try with a little, I even said starting with saving some money. My thing was, oh, I want to save $100 every time I'm saving. But if you know your financial situation, your circumstance is not in the space to where you can do that, I said, start where I am, you know? And there are times where, yeah, you may want to save hundreds of dollars, but if you can only save $1 at a time, $5 at a time, then do that. It doesn't have to be perfect. And that's why I said, start where you are, because small little steps that you make today is going to lead to huge steps later. I never realized that when you make a whole bunch of small steps towards goals, okay, I'm going to save a little money over here. I'm going to start walking. I'm going to start doing this. When you keep yourself consistent and persistent in all of your endeavors and all your goals, there's nothing that you can't do. And I encourage myself every time I look at my bank account and I see that it's not where I want it to be, but I know that I've made sacrifices and I'm proud of myself. If you know you can only save that $5, you start where you are. Maybe one day your circumstance will change and you can save 50 and $100 every single time. But that $5 adding up at the end of the year, you'll be surprised at how much you can save. And the same thing when you start making small steps in your journey of your health, going for a walk, even doing seated exercises, seated workouts, arm races, leg kicks, stretches, deep breathing, doing a pool workout, what it called water aerobics. It doesn't matter about the how much you do, it's that how consistent you are, how persistent you are, how much you continue, and then keep going, and then block out everybody else, and then do what you're supposed to do, and forget about everyone else. Yes. Thank you so much, Edward. Yes. Support the channel, please, and thank you with a like. That's all I ask. If you could hit the like, I'd really appreciate it. So that's one of the things that I had to, really work on myself and giving myself that permission that I deserve to start. And I can say, in my situation, I always was looking for an ideal situation and always saying, oh, I'm too tired. If you were always tired and you said, I'm not going to start until I'm not tired, when will you ever start? So that is another thing that I had to work on, shifting my mindset and shifting my focus as well, and telling myself, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be where I want it to be. I just need to start. I just need to do this. And I had to start talking to myself in a manner that I give myself the permission to be successful. I give myself the permission to be happy. I give myself the permission to do this because I know I can. And when we start talking to ourselves and being confident, elevating our mind, shutting out the negativity and the naysayers and the judgment and whatever, an ideal situation, and whatever challenges and roadblocks and what other people have to say, and still doing it anyways, that's very encouraging. And I know when I was in the space of being very down and wanting to accomplish things and wasn't accomplishing it, it makes you feel bad. Like, it really makes you feel bad when you know that you can do better. But don't stay in that space and put yourself down, because that only makes your situation worse. What we can do, what is in the power of our hand, the power of our mind, and we have power over our life. If you start telling yourself you can do amazing things, you will. And for me, I had to start with small little steps. First mine was, okay, I'm going to start working out for 10 minutes. And then that 10 minutes increased to 15, to 20, to 30, to 45 minutes. And now I'm up to an hour. But if it wasn't for the small steps, starting where I was, I would definitely would not get to the hour exercises that I can do today. And the same thing is with my finances and saving and budgeting and things like that. I had to start with $1 instead of wasting $1 or $2 here or there. I would take that and save it. And no matter what other people say, saving change, $1, $5, it does matter to saving towards whatever goal that you have for that money. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. That is my encouragement to everybody. Whatever you want to do, you can do it, but you got to have a plan. And like I've said many times before, the plan has to be reasonable and attainable for you. It can't be what somebody is telling you to do in whatever. Like this person on social media says this, and this person in your family and a friend and somebody at work is looking at your own self, determining what you personally know you can do, and then giving yourself the permission to do that. When I started doing that, like really talking to myself and encouraging myself and saying those things like, I give myself the permission to be amazing. I give myself the permission to start. I give myself the permission to be positive because sometimes we don't feel positive. Hi, Drew York. How are you? Welcome. Appreciate you being here and happy Monday to you. And that's how it definitely started for me is first shifting my mind because like I've said so often before, I didn't grow up in that situation and circumstance to where I was encouraged to do better. I was encouraged to be my best. I was encouraged to be positive. I wasn't. See, it had to come from within me. So I come on here to say it's not something that I've read from a book. It's something that I assimilated. It's I made this to be my life, my circumstance, my mentality. I shifted myself. I empowered myself because I got sick and tired of living the life that I had before. I was sick and tired of being sad and miserable. I was sick and tired of waiting for people to support me. I had to find the answer. I'm the solution. And I wanted to say that to you all too. You're the solution. You're the solution in your problem. Any problem that you're having right now, you're the solution. You got to look inside yourself. See, ultimately, many of us don't want to look within ourselves. We want to blame our situation. You want to blame, oh, it's my kids. Oh, it's my parents. Oh, it's this one. It's my job. It's my health. There's always somebody that you can point a finger at. When I took a cold, hard look at myself in the mirror and I said, Marlene, you're the problem. You're the reason why you haven't lost this weight. You're the reason why you haven't started your business. You're the reason why you this and this and this isn't happening. And then I shifted it around and said, and now what can I do about it? See, that's how you become empowered. It's not saying I can't do anything and then giving up. It's knowing that I have the power to be empowered. I have the power to shift my life. I have the power to have peace, and I deserve it. And I say this to every single one of you. You have the power to shift your life. You have the power to make changes. You have the power to do anything you want. It doesn't matter what your health is. It doesn't matter what your financial situation is. It doesn't matter what other people have said. It doesn't matter what you've done last week, yesterday, 5 years ago. It's about today and in this moment. And what do you choose? See, when I made a choice to look at myself and start being transparent, not honest, because there's a major difference. I learned to be transparent with myself. And I said, it's up to me. And that's why I say this to all of you as well. It's up to you. When I first started my health journey, I was very, very unhealthy. And a lot of people aren't going to be as transparent as I am. But I know I was eating way too much junk food, just laying up in the bed, feeling sorry for myself. I was eating my pain instead of facing my pain. And that is something that a lot of people really, when you do some introspection, some reflection, you're able to say, aha, that aha moment when that light bulb goes on, that if I really want it, then I have to do better. And that is how we start, Gems family. That is how you start. If I want it, I have to do it. And I had to start shifting my mind and shifting the way I talk to myself. Positive self talk is vital. And I can't tell you all how much positive self talk will help you. Positive self talk will empower your mind. It will encourage you, will empower you. Like, you got to get amped up about your life. If you're not excited about your life, then something needs to change. Every day I wake up and I give myself a pep talk. You look at yourself in the mirror and you tell yourself, you got to speak over your life. I'm phenomenal. There's nothing that I can't do. I am the solution to my problem. Anything that I want, I can have it. Because if it came to me, then it's for me. And then I develop my plan, my strategies. I have my mentor, I have my coaches, I got an accountability partner. And then I got to look at myself and I got to be accountable for me. So when I'm accountable for me, it's not being in that comfort zone. You're not going to get where you want to get if you don't get up. You got to get up and fight, even when you fall down. Every time I fall down, I'm like, okay, I'm down right now. I'm feeling discouraged. I had to learn to acknowledge that. I'm feeling down today. I'm feeling really discouraged. And let yourself be in that moment. I'm sad today. I'm discouraged. I'm feeling some type of way. And why is that? Troubleshoot. The troubleshooting is so important for us to be able to show up in our life with peace and joy and a success. Successful people have just found a way to continue. That is just, it's simple math. Being consistent plus persistent is going to lead to success. Consistency plus being persistent equals success. So you got to have your plan. This is when I'm going to do this, this, and this. And then you do that. And if it's not working, you scrap the plan, you start over again, but you stay consistent and you don't give up. No matter how many times you fail, I rise up and I encourage myself. Okay, that didn't work. Rise up, get up, let's do this. On to the next plan. So, what are we going to do next? That is the difference. Um, Thank you so much, True York. I started my YouTube. I started, but my YouTube is stuck. See, Roxanne, and that's the same, one of the same things that I said too. We all get two spaces in our life, whether we're content creators, not content creators, in our life, in business, in whatever. We all get stuck. You know, sometimes you got that brain fog. You don't have new ideas. You don't know how you're going to get to where you're getting. But that's why I say all the time, make sure you have 4 or 5 notebooks. I've said this so many times, and I say it when I do coaching. So I'm going to give you a free coaching tip. Get yourself 5 different notebooks. You guys listening? 5 different notebooks. Don't have to be expensive. You don't have to get a 5-star notebook. You get a simple notebook. But all that matters is you have a notebook. And on the front of one notebook, you write uh, um, food. On another one, you write finance. On another one, you write mental health. On another one, you write spirituality. Okay? You guys following me? Why it's important to separate those things is because they're all correlated. When one part of your life is off, it's going to affect the other parts of you. So when your mental health isn't right, you need to be writing that down. Today I'm feeling this and this and this, and why am I feeling this and this and this? I, and start writing that down. I don't know why, and then keep writing until you have that aha moment where the light bulb turns on. I am feeling down because of this, and then you have your reason. You have your solution. Also important in this is keeping a food journal. I've said that over and over and over again. You must food journal what you're eating. Your health is your wealth. Your health is your wealth. If you eat junk, you will be junk. There's no easy ways, no sugarcoating. If you eat junk, you will be junk. And it took me such a long time for me to purify my mind from feeling that I have to eat a certain way. And because of upbringing, because of stress, we eat certain ways. And if you really want to get to certain levels of success, you can't get to certain levels of success when you're sluggish, when you're not doing what you need to do. So that's another reason why I say keep that food journal. Okay, let's see. I see a few of my awesome gems coming in. How are you guys doing? Happy Monday. Hey, Miss Betty, how are you doing? Welcome. Happy Monday. Hi, Sirius. How are you doing? Welcome. Appreciate you. Yes, my day is going awesome. Thank you so much. Excellent as always. Every day is excellent. It's just a choice. And who else do we have? Charlene. Hi, Charlene. How are you doing? Yes, blessings on blessings every single day. So I want to say to everybody for us to start where you are. That is definitely the motivation to everybody. Start where you are. Charlene says this is true. Fighting to be healthy is the key to a successful life in many ways. Yes. And I'm not going to sit down here and tell you that, oh, I never have chips and cookies and ice cream. No, that's unreasonable. That's not even sustainable. I'm just saying that I've learned to do things in balance. It's just like everything in your life. It must be balanced. There's nothing wrong with having a chip, a few chips, a handful of chips. But something is wrong if you're eating the whole bag of chips. There's nothing wrong with having a candy bar, but if you're eating a whole bag of candy bars, you see where I'm going with this, everybody? Balance, okay? Our health is our wealth. Yes. Hi to Roxanne. I hope you're doing great. Um, I wanted to say to everybody because I wanted to encourage my GEMS family because it just came to me that I needed to talk about starting where you are. Um, and I know that sometimes we will be in spaces to where we're not very happy. You're unhappy, actually, angry. Um, some are in real time grieving. Some are dealing with many health problems. Or it could be a combination of so many things. But don't let what is happening, don't let your circumstance define you. Turn that around. You define your circumstance against all odds. It shows how strong you are. It shows how motivated you are. It shows how much you love yourself. It shows your own personal wealth and worth. your drive and desire to succeed. It's all about what you put in your mind. And you guys can't see, but I'm pointing to my brain. It's all what you put in there. What are you feeding yourself? I had to learn to stop feeding myself off negativity. And how do you stop yourself from feeding off negativity? I had to learn to be very cognizant of the energy that I take in. It's what I'm consuming and what I'm eating, because while we eat literal food, we eat physical food, we also are eating from what we're around. We absorb those things by what we're watching on TV, the music we listen to, the people we are around, and all those things, and what we say about ourselves, how we define ourselves, our self-awareness, our self-worth. All of our value is wrapped up in what we do in our day-to-day life. And when I learned to shut out the white noise, as I call it, what other people are thinking and saying and doing, you got to shut that out and shut it down and focus on what do I need to do so I can be my healthiest, I can be my happiest, I can have the most peace that I deserve. And I want you to insert your name into this when you say this. And I wake up every single day and I say this to myself: Marlene deserves peace. Marlene deserves health. Marlene deserves wealth. Marlene deserves joy. When you put that in first person and talking to yourself and say, I deserve it. It's not that I want it or I'm asking for it. It's a choice. You're making the choice to choose yourself. You're making the choice to say, this right here, my joy, nobody can take that away from me. And when somebody tries to take it away from you, this is when you cut them off. This is when you block, you delete, and you remove yourself from their presence. Our life is too precious to have anybody stop our joy, stop our focus, stop our maintenance of good mental health. Nobody has that right. See, we give away our power too freely. And when I learned the power of positive thinking, the power of shifting my mindset, that my joy is not in what others think, my joy is in what I think. You see how that shifts your life? And because even if I don't have the ideal situation and I'm not where I want to be, I speak to myself in a manner that causes me to elevate and to be more empowered. Because if you don't tell yourself you can do something, if you don't um, move the goalpost forward, then how are you going to be able to get better? First, you have to empower your mind so that you can empower your life. Okay, that was a life coach tip. So I'm going to get off of that and we're going to get back onto the topic about starting where you are. Now, I don't know each of you personally, and you don't know me personally, but one thing about Marlene is I'm a very accountable person. I'm very transparent and I'm very kind. But one thing that I had to learn is I had to learn self compassion. Okay? You have to learn self compassion. Hey, real odds and evens, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. How is your Monday going? One thing that I had to learn self compassion. Okay? Until you learn how to be compassionate with yourself, you're not going to get the health, the wealth, the drive, the joy, the peace, all of these things, and they're all linked. If you do not talk to your own self, if you don't speak over your life and tell yourself, I'm a bright beam of light, nobody has the ability to dim my light. Nobody can take me off track from my focus. Nobody can stop me. And that means you got to have a strong mind. You got to have a strong will and desire to succeed. And if you don't, other people will and can control you. And there's a lot of people who have very evil motives. They are seeking to hurt, even to unalive you. You know, the really evil people, they seek to unalive you. They don't want to see you here anymore, or they at least want to see you suffering. And if not suffering, they want to see you doing worse than them or staying on the same level. But when you start succeeding and prospering in your mind, that I'm not going to do what I used to do. I speak to myself at the age that I am now. I'm not trying to be the 18-year-old version of me. I'm trying to be the version of me right now today that knows of wisdom, that knows my own personal limits. And I had to learn that my limits was not limiting. I know what I'm capable of. I know what I'm good at. I know what I deserve. I know who I belong to. So, because of all of those things, when I put all of that together in my stew of my empowered mind and life, I know that I need to keep going. I know that I need to continue. And I know when it's time to reset. See, the difference with other people is when other people get a challenge, when other people, somebody says something to them, somebody hates on them, somebody's jealous of them, somebody says they can't do it, they're all in a rage, screaming and yelling, and oh, and who do you think you are? And you don't have that right. And that's when I simply go silent because I don't need to convince somebody of my worth. I already know that. And I love her. That's what other people don't understand. I fought for my life. Literally, I fought to save my life because I was in that dark space. See, that's what other people don't know. People don't know that you literally have had to fight to keep alive, to keep a roof over your head, to keep a strong, empowered mind. You got to fight for those things. Don't let other people take you backwards when all you want to do is move forward. Don't let anybody have power over what you think about yourself. You don't have to convince nobody of that. You know who you are and you know what you're worth. So go out there and show this world your power, your energy, your light, your gifts, your potential. At the end of the day, it's up to you. It's up to you, you, and you to be great. It's up to you to be empowered. It's up to you to step outside of your comfort zone and start where you are. It's not going to be ideal. It's not going to be perfect. It's not always going to be linked with support and someone encouraging you. Most of the time, it has the opposite effect, especially when it's somebody that you used to be, in the collective with them, and now you see that you're not growing in that collective or group or with certain individuals or in that relationship, you're not growing. And it takes a lot of courage to walk away from spaces you're not growing in. See, but when you're empowered, when you love yourself, you know that. And it doesn't mean necessarily that those are bad people. It just means that it's not people who are helping you to grow. It's not people who are helping you to be your best. It's not people who are helping you to get to your potential, because everybody's potential is different. Everybody's circumstance is different. One thing about every single person as a human being, we all want to be loved. We all want to be happy. Okay? And it's up to you to make a choice how much of it you possess. And that's why I wanted to come on today and to encourage each and every one of you that whether you have some health issues, whether you feel sad, you have some mental health issues, whether you have some physical issues like you got some health problems, or whether you have some situations where you got people in your life that are less than favorable. Now you have some decisions that you have to make. You have to make some decisions, not them. See, when I empowered my mind and stopped letting other people control my peace, control my light, control my talent, and I took my power back, it's a game changer. When you start believing in yourself enough and being confident that I deserve to have this life, I deserve to do X, Y, and Z, not in a perfect situation, but with a successful plan, with being consistent and persistent, with self-love, with knowing who covers me and clears my path constantly. See, when I know that, when I was reminded that I'm not alone, when I was reminded where I came from and where I am today, you guys don't have no idea. Because of the person that I am today, the one that smiles and the one that has peace and the one that won't fight and cuss people out and do. See, that's the difference. That's the difference. And that's how I know that I've changed. That's how I know that I'm empowered. And I just don't want to have my own form of peace and happiness. I want to share that awareness. And that's why I said I'm growing a community. I want to grow a community of empowered women and men who love themselves and don't let other people control them. Take your power back. Love thyself. Until you love yourself, you're going to keep allowing anything. Allow anyone to treat you anyway. You're going to allow yourself to be treated anyway. You're going to allow yourself to tell yourself the lie that I can't do it, or maybe that's for somebody else and I'm not able to. You have to cut out of your life the can'ts and the won'ts, and that things are impossible. Nothing is impossible. In that word says everything that you need. I'm possible. I'm possible. You are possible. So if you want it, go and get it. It's yours for the taking. Okay? I'm Life with Marlene, your Florida blogger, also a life coach, motivator, motivational speaker. And I thank you so much for tuning in. I hope something in this message resonated with someone and you feel supported now. You feel loved. You feel charged up and encouraged to go out there and to start where you are. Don't let anybody stop you from what you want. You make your plan reasonable, attainable, stay consistent, and you're going to grow. Be empowered, my GEMS family. You can do it. I'll see you guys on the next one.